I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, all those persons around the world that continue to be able to watch us. I'm grateful that you're here with us. It is a gorgeous day. Grateful to be here in the land of the living as we continue to be able to jam with you and talk to you about national issues and just really being able to keep abreast as to exactly what's happening in this political time. I am Howard Grant. This is The Foundation. I want to thank you so much for being able to tune in with us today. I just want to be able to say this, forgive me for my tardiness, between two issues. The first issue is that I've been having internet problems, so I changed my camera again and trying to be able to make sure that we were in a good space and place that we can be able to provide you that information, right? Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that everything was well and good. And I'm hoping that we're not choppy today. I got to go to BTC and be able to get my either BTC or the live. I don't know who's going to give me the best deal and option for being able to do this, but this internet is poor. Now, I don't think that this is generally poor. I'm using my Starlink, right? I don't think it's generally a poor thing, right? But I believe as a result of what I'm doing, on a day-to-day basis, right? The downloads, the uploads, the this load, the that load, all these particular things, I think it is becoming a little bit giving a significant wear and tear, I suppose, to the internet. Now, I thought I got the commercial one, but it seems like this is a residential situation. And this ain't no good for me. I can't do nothing with this. I can't do nothing with this. And so I'm going to have to make modifications to this and ensure that we're in a good position that we can make some things happen. So please forgive me. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, please let me know, guys. If you can be able to hear me, if I'm loud and clear, if you can be able to talk about these particular things, please let me know. Let me know if you're having any distortion, if it's there any lag or anything like that. I did everything this morning that I can possibly do. The only thing I can do is cancel the show and make sure BTC come and give me the proper internet, that I don't have this issue. The internet's the quality is poor. The quality is poor. Yeah, I changed the camera and I changed these particular things so I can be able to try and get everything done. Just a bit of lag, and it's not as bad as yesterday. Oh God, I got to change this internet. Either that, I got to call the technician from Starlink so he can come and check this out. I've never had, no one has ever told me that they had an issue with their Starlink. You see what I'm saying? Like, no one has said to me that they had an issue with their Starlink. And I'm having issues with this Starlink. And I suppose I'm, it's fanciful thinking to believe that I can be able to do all that I'm doing. I got on TikTok, I got on YouTube, on Facebook, and the whole thing off of this kind of a residential situation. I guess it was just fanciful thinking, right? Just wishful thinking. But it's definitely giving me a problem, and I cannot deal with it anymore. It is too much. So by Monday, God spare our life. Monday, we're going to have this thing set up. Well, once the technicians come in and be able to set the place up accordingly. By Monday, we'll be able to have this, and then I'll be able to, I don't know, either sell the Starlink or utilize it in some other space. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out. But I hope you guys are good. It's a beautiful day. Let's get to it very quickly. We ain't got much time. I think I could be able to spend about an hour with you guys to be able to talk about these things. I want you guys to give me a shout. 827-0111, 827-0111. Forgive the lag if it's lagging, right? Forgive the lag if it's lagging, but we can fix that. We have to get a better internet quality, right? I thought I was good with the Starlink. Forgive the lag if it's lagging in your space. If you're watching it and you can see like a sense of lag or whatever the case may be, please forgive me. We're going to fix that. We are going to fix that. Yeah, and I had a meeting also today that ran a little late. The meeting was for 11:30, then it was for 12 o'clock, and then it was for 12:30. It was too much, right? So, yeah, like I told you, I do more than, it's okay. I do more than one thing. I got to keep it inside because my son is, he's already playing, right? I do more than one thing. Yeah, I don't just sit out here and just talk on the TV. Yeah, I got some other things and some consultancy projects and stuff like that I'm working on. So please forgive me. I had to kind of work on some stuff to make the thing happen and make some things happen. I hope you guys are good out there talking about what's happening around the country and really being able to talk about how the country is able to move steadily towards the future. Been having significant conversations about these concepts and ideas as to whether or not the PLP is going to win the next general election or not. Excuse me. And some people who carry wisdom and exposure in certain areas for a long time has said to me, Howard, I think it's too early for us to assess. Howard, it's a little bit too early for us to assess. We the determination, when we get up to the end of the thing, right? When we're getting closer to D-Day, we can make a determination a little time before, but this is a little too early for us to assess. And I agree with it. Yeah, because I often kind of prerequisite the conversation by being able to say to you, I watched the momentum for the Free National Movement shift in no minute time. I watched the momentum for the Free National Movement shift in such a manner that we saw them take on this kind of a position 6 weeks before the general election. 6 weeks before the general election. You understand what I'm saying? 6 weeks before the general election. Was this hard thing, right? On TikTok. I didn't know you guys could. I didn't know, right? Yeah. 6 weeks before the general election, we watched them being able to shift. The momentum shifted in the FNM's direction. Minnis didn't have it. He just didn't have it. He didn't have the momentum. And whatever momentum he had, with the retention of his position as leader of the organization, he had to use his strength, his force in that particular capacity. He did have momentum of being able to move forward and make things happen. He just didn't have it. And so it led to difficulty, led to some things in that area. And so with clarity, I just wanted to be able to say that. I got somebody, just give me 2 seconds. Please forgive me. Yeah, we're back. So sorry about that. Somebody just came to the door and being able to do these things. We're live, guys. We're on top of the hill. And if you want to be a part of that, I'd love to be able to be here. Guys, it's going to be exciting, man. When you see the tower go up and being able to have this kind of a conversation with you, we're live on air and all these things are happening. It's going to be an exciting time. I am extremely excited. Every day we're pecking at some things to be able to get some things done in this particular space. It is an exciting time. I might as well tell you that. It truly is an exciting time, and we're looking forward to being able to get some things done. So that's what it is. Now, where we were talking about Minnis not being able to have the momentum. He did not have the momentum. The only strength and energy that he had to retain his particular position was in the Free National Movement. That's it. I said he had to retain that particular position, and like it or not, and I know he don't like to kind of admit this, but if it wasn't for Hubert Ingram being able to come for those last 3 weeks, and no matter the speculation and all the hearsay and all the little chit chat that went around, no matter these casual conversations that said that they had to pay Hubert Ingram for people to say things, right? They had to pay Hubert Ingram to make. I don't know. I don't be in them kind of level conversation. I'm not in. I don't know. I can't fight the man. If you pay him, pay me, oh, pay me what you owe me. I can't fight the man. If you got to pay him, pay him. Because he did for the FNM what was unable to be done. There has been fighting almost for a decade in the Free National Movement. For a little bit more, almost 2 decades, from 2012. From 2012, there has been infighting in the Free National Movement. Clear infighting. Yeah. From 2012, when Hubert Ingram has taken on this kind of position, indicate that he is gone and he can be bothered no more, and so forth and so on. From 2012, there's been infighting in the Free National Movement. Infighting. And as a result of those particular things, when they saw it, when they identified those things, 2012, 2022 is 10 years, and 4 years is 26. That's 14 years we're fighting. They ain't stopped yet. Minnis win in the midst of this particular thing now. Watch me. In the midst of the 14-year civil war that's been happening in the Free National Movement. I think it's writing worthy. 14-year civil war in the Free National Movement. And by former leader, by the departure of the former leader, a 14-year civil war in the Free National Movement. 14 years. And as a result of that, they don't have the energy to be able to stand against a formidable opponent. They don't have the energy to take the PLP. The PLP, in my view, is more unified than ever. For the past 30 years, this is the most unified that I've seen the PLP. They're knocking on all cylinders. They're doing all the proper work. They're doing data collection. They're identifying. They can make an assessment of who should go where, how these things are going to play out. Now, listen, some things slip through the crack, Not everything can catch it. But for the most part, the PLP knocking on all cylinders. All cylinders. All cylinders. All. They're knocking and they're knocking hard. They're doing a wonderful job. I might tell you the truth. They're doing a good job. I'm impressed with them. And always impressed in that kind of a posture and being able to do some stuff. It's an impressive thing. The PLP is working their butts off in this particular capacity. They're doing well. They are doing well. And I think that they'll continue to be able to do well. Ladies and gentlemen, when will the midterm break be over, for Jesus' sake? Oh my gosh. When will this little boy... yeah. Don't cut down the laptop, please. Let me do this work. Yeah, guys, let's check out the newspapers and see exactly what's in the newspaper. 279 Grand Lucayan staff to be let go next week. 279 Grand Lucayan staff to be let go next week. Mother's sick. This is a challenge. The government plans to complete a donation of 279 Grand Line staff by next week, February 27. It has been revealed. As efforts to complete the resort's $120 million sale to Concord Wilshire head into what is likely to be final stages. Julian Russell, chairman of the Dukine Renewal Holdings, the government-owned special purpose vehicle, the SB, that holds the Grand Bahamas Resort. This is informed by Obie Ferguson, the KC, the Trade Union Congress president, right? In the intent to pay all the workers their dues, have pay, other benefits, and entitlements under their relevant industrial agreements by the month's end. I think that's a good thing, a bad thing at the same time. I mean, you can't retain a leaking bucket. Grand Dukine was leaked for a while. And I just don't know where. I'm just hoping that this doesn't translate for the government. This is just me hoping and looking at things, right? I'm hoping that this doesn't translate into the depreciation of confidence from a voter standpoint. I'm hoping that voters don't look at this and lose confidence in the Progressive Liberal Party. I'm hoping that this act, because it's peculiar, that but it's inevitable and it's a necessity. It's almost like a necessary ill. Yeah, there's the proverbial bitters that you ingest to be able to get yourself better. As I look at this, and it goes on to be able to talk about these things. It talks about government plans to be able to complete those things, right? And it says that the letter addressed to Mr. Ferguson, in his capacity as the head of the Bahamas Hotel Management Association, which represents 94 Grand Line middle managers, was dated February 13, 2026. As you were aware, the Bahamas has entered into an agreement to sell Grand Dukine Resort Concord Wilshire Group, and as such, we write to inform you that to inform you of the pending redundancy of all employees, including members of the Bahamas Hotel Managerial Association. This is what Mr. Russell actually put in there, right? Let's go to some B10. This is the Tribune I'm reading, guys, so you can be able to just pick it up there, right? And it's a good write-up. So it goes on to be able to talk about these. It says, please be advised that all staff will receive payment under Section 26A of the Employment Amendment Act in 2017 and contractual agreement entitlements of completion of this exercise. The redundancy exercise will be completed by February 27th, 2026. And it goes on. This is further. We advise that the number of employees to be made redundant is 279, which includes 94 of your members. The breakdown of members is 53 full-time managerial staff and 41 contractual managerial staff. High-placed government sources speaking on the conditions and anonymity yesterday confirmed that the 27th of February 2026 deadline for completing the redundancy and termination exercise is accurate. So they're saying is accurate. Some Grand Dukine staff members, though yesterday appeared unaware of the payout and severance date, only telling Tribune Business that they heard rumors they may be paid and what was due to them on or before March 13, 2026. Philip Davis KC is addressing its last week's Grand Bahamas Business Outlook said that the Bahamas Investment Authority, the Finance Department of Labor, and the Office of the Attorney General had been working to settle the combined $17 million owed to the resort's employees and vendors in a way that honors legal entitlements and protects public funds. The confirmed termination deadline may provide Grand Dukine staff with some certainty as to their and its timing, given that they have gone 5 weeks without receiving the salaries and other benefits during 2005. Again, in early 2006, and moving may also signal that they may finally be getting closer to sealing the deal, Grand Dukine sale, via the deal with Concord Wilshire. Tribune Business understands that the Miami headquartered developer and its partners are in the final stages of what they hope is agreement on the reconfigurations of Grand Dukine so that everybody's plans and needs are accommodated. Concord Wilshire has also said that it will function as a master developer, entering in contracts with different partners to manage and run separate parts of the project. Tribune Business understands that provided a mutually satisfactory agreement is reached Two of the partners will be Disney Cruise Lines and Mediterranean Ship Company, MSC. Right? I think it's always premature to be able to give this in for this information. I think it's premature. I understand the newspaper has to be able to seek after this information, and I understand that they will retain and provide the information that they receive. I understand that any news development, any news division, see information, absorb and be able to kind of release it to the public so they can be able to see it. I think that's important. I'm not going to fight you for being able to do that. I understand what you're doing, but let's be very clear about this. There is no need to have a conversation about the hypothetics, about a hypothetical concept and idea of what may happen. There is no need to have a conversation about what I can do on the outside of my business, how I can form relationships. That is nobody's business, not now. You sign an MOU, you sign an LOI, you sign an NDA. What the hell you sign to be indicate that this is a serious thing? And if it is serious, there is no completion, there's no need for a conversation. Talk to me. There is no need for a conversation. Grand Bahamian people now, 279 of them being able to get dished out $17 million. And what they owe and what they owe to them for some time. And I want to be able to commend them, and I want to commend the government. This is not an easy task. It's definitely not easy. Do not throw my light down, please. It's definitely not easy. And I want to be able to say clarity, even though it's not easy, it's a necessity. A necessity to finalize a particular thing. We need to be able to wind up everything that we're doing, even the occupation that exists in this particular space in preparation to transition, to be able to give you, to pass over everything that you own in this place. And so if you would like to be able to furnish it with all the employees, with the expertise that exists in these particular spaces, you should be doing your homework, Concord, Wiltshire, to identify who can do what in what particular spaces. Do I need this guy? Do I need the air conditioning? Do I need this person? Do I need this maintenance person? Do I need these people on the ground? Do I need this particular? How do I re-engage them? That's what they should be doing. Their business for you. My business for you in my particular capacity is to be able to seal this deal. We're done. At this particular juncture, we are done. And as we're done, we're able to find ourselves in a position that we can move forward and make some things happen. So let's just be clear about that. This is not going to be easy. From a governmental standpoint, I believe that Grand Bahamians may look at this in a peculiar way. Can I say that? It's the way that we talk. Grand Bahamian people who have enjoyed significant cut behind, can I say this? Over the past, I don't know how long. So text me and says, I was just a little bit angry. No, you're good. Okay, cool. Grand Bahamian people who've endured some things over I don't know how long. Oh, Jesus. Some 2004, 22 years. Can I say this? Can you hear me? 22 years of trial and tribulations persons have endured in Grand Bahama as a result of what has happened from Francis and Jane. 22 years. From 2004. Grand Bahama has not recovered. Everybody lost their job at the hotel. Whoever was able to keep on, I'm sure they ain't got no skills. Nothing about it. Yeah, but you wasn't even able to sharpen your skills over those years. I mean, arrival plummeted nothing. Not just the hotel, to the island. So I can't call you a customer service extraordinaire. You ain't serving customers. So you were staying there for purposes of being able to take a couple of dollars to take care of your bills and exist and survive. We are not that. But from 2004, I'm going to be very clear, Grand Bahama has been plummeting. There has been a steady decline in Grand Bahama. And you would believe that it hopefully leveled at one point and then went back down. It seems to be able to this. But there is a steady decline in Grand Bahama as it relates to productivity, as it relates to optimism that this particular thing can happen. From 2004, every administration has provided some optimistic view of what they can and will do for rectification to be able to bring those things to light. Every administration. Every administration. Has been able to do that. However, no cigar. No cigar. Yeah. Let's talk about these particular things and let's be able to be clear in this concept. There has been no 2004 to 2004 would have been under the PLP administration. PLP came in 2002. The hurricane hit in 2004, 2005, deprivation, this kind of a big pontification of what it would cost to be able to rectify this and fix this from Hurricane Francis and Jane. Former Prime Minister Gary Christie was excellent as it relates to being able to motivate and inspire you with the kind of words and the poetry that actually jolted you in the direction he can be able to do. And nothing happened. 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, the paper was gone. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2012, the FNM came in. 2007, the FNM would have had who I could remember. Hold on now. My mother came in 2007. Peter Turnquest was in that kind. No. Yeah. I think he did get his grandma home. Central grandmama would have been Eco. Yeah. The FN with the grandma were to the PLP at the end. The people of grandma were good to the FNM. I have to just remember exactly who got what seats, but the people of grandma were good to the FNM. And still nothing. Nothing. You say it, but you got whatever you want to say, and all these things, that's up to you. But nothing. It may be a difficult thing to have that kind of a conversation, but it's still nothing. But that shit is. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. It's unfortunate, that's what it is. I just want to be able to be very clear with you. There's no administration has been able to focus on Grand Muhammad the way they're supposed to. The PLP administration did not do so in 2007 and 2004 when they were there. Housing crisis happened, and the hotel found themselves even deeper tribulation in 2008 when the bubble burst in United States of America and the U.S. So travel came to almost standstill. Now, 2008, the FNM shifted from being able to look at a great deal from an external standpoint, and they really turned themselves where they did infrastructure development goals during this particular time. And pursued for finances from the IMF, the World Bank, and so forth and so on, they had to find themselves in the position where they restructured their approach to borrowing. This is what happened. And so if they wanted to be able to borrow money, they needed to put themselves in the position where they presented an opportunity for the middle, They had to present an opportunity for small and medium businesses to be able to thrive. Yeah, because from a standpoint, democratic global standpoint, being able to identify these things, boy, we'll know in the grasp of from a democratic and global standpoint, you have to look at this. You have to look at this with clarity. Looking at this, you'll be able to come to a very clear understanding. That understanding is this: the global statutes that in these particular cases say to you that for a community country to thrive, they need to be able to ensure that they have a thriving middle class. And the middle class is normally persons who can be able to tap into entrepreneurialism, business development, and own their own business. Small business is the engine that actually keeps society going. Yeah. So it may not necessarily be these big conglomerates and corporations that can be able to drop $800 million on you, $500 million on you. Yeah. But these incremental indicators shows a sense of consistency and shows a thriving economy. Yeah, shows us the consistency. They're consistent with needing finances, taking care of their society, is able to find a significant sense of currency. So money's in, money's coming in, money's going out. That's what currency moving in and out. Money keep moving in, and that's what currency. The money's supposed to come in and move out. It's supposed to stagnate. I didn't want money for. Money be stagnant. Money costing people to grow. And every time you get money, money's supposed to be able to keep moving. Money. That's what we're supposed to do. It's called currency. Current. Move. Sometimes it's vicious, and sometimes it's like a ripple. But it's supposed to keep it. It's never supposed to sit that it's stagnant. So the IMF and the World Bank is in 2000 after the bubble, and just before that, if I go back to my research, possibly, but global indicators indicated that there was going to be something that happened. Right? There was enough conversations that indicated there's something that we get to be able to pay attention to. Boom, housing bubble burst, right? They were giving people money for homes they couldn't afford it. There were people who were made less than $100,000 a year, less than $50,000 a year, a loan for $300,000, $450,000 for a home. They had all sorts of ways they've been able to go in back doors. So the salesperson who after making the same loan was able to get a significant amount of money as a result of this whole movie. I can't remember what I think it's called, The Big Short, something like that. I can't remember what we got, right? And then it's all of these different things. In the midst of all these particular things, we saw it happen. Please. The freedom movement in their wisdom, and we have to put in air quotes, in their wisdom, necessary. It was a necessary evil, simultaneously. It was something that they may never had considered before as it relates to the masses. Right? This is something that was a necessity based upon consultation, based upon position, based upon desire to make significant into direction that they saw after they had to do this. They gave up $3 million, and the government of the Bahamas created a fresh start and program. I remember these things. They had to do this. They had to make the determinant. They had to do this particular program. A lot of persons with money. The only thing that the government is to tout out is Cheesecake Factory with Jamal. He did well, right? He found this as sustainability for a moment, right? And then Bahamas Striping started off with a $5,000 loan, quote unquote, quote unquote. And they continue to be able to expand and grow and expand the company. They did well. And those are two companies out of maybe 1,000, 2,000, maybe 5,000 the government of the Bahamas had created. No, we created it. The government of the Bahamas facilitated us the finances to be able to execute those particular things. My company was a part of those companies. My company was Homeland Maintenance and Landscaping. I was cutting people grass. I was getting opportunities to do some stuff. And I made up, I already made $15,000 out of the company. But things were such in such their positions in Bahamas, you never feel that $15,000. It came incrementally. People wasn't paying to get the services they were offering because Grand Bahama was in a poor condition. 2007, 2008, talking about 2009, things happened. Between 2009 and 2011, the government of the Bahamas shifted interest and started to be able to develop the infrastructural position of Nassau. They shifted the road, they shifted the direction of the roads. You see everybody saying all the road and dig up, and things happened. This was a second time in the country. A lot of things happened. And in all of this happening, in the midst of all of this happening, all of this, Grand Bahama was depressed. Some people are not necessarily into sort of concept, an idea of what you can do for me. They're just not into it. It's not into it. How much time you can see, man? Listen, man. Baby, I love you. I love you, man. I love you, baby. Trust me, I do all these things for you. I love you, baby. Listen, man. He's on the album, baby, I love you. You have my last name. And she's frustrated. Listen, man, if you want a little bit, just ask. Okay? I give you that, and you go your way. Like, my way. I don't want nobody to lie to me no more. She's hard. She's hard. Not that she has rejected love. Not that she's rejected the hope and idea of things that she's enjoyed, that she's envisioned for herself. Futuristically, she's hard. And you hit it with the exact same rhythm format. You hit the rhythm of something that's familiar. It stirs up memories. It's only PTSD. Post-traumatic story disorder. PTLD. Post-traumatic life disorder. Let's be clear about it. And as a result of that, be clear now, as a result of that, this is where you find yourself. This is the position you live in. The Bahamas recently did not do that thing. To be able to wind up, it's something to take on some big challenges this time. I think we're going to have to do on this from a standpoint to be able to reproject around so everybody could be to shine on the concept. I want to say it, and I'm going to be able to say clarity. Okay? This administration has taken on a great deal of things. I want to write them down. Now, as much as I was indifferent with this sort of concept of what they did initially with the introduction of climate change, right? The introduction of climate change, they did take a challenge of being able to tackle this climate change, down climate change. Right? This is one of the first things they came to the gate with. The second thing they actually tackled was the concept and idea of the government. And being to a certain position that the authority exists and ends with us, government of the Bahamas. And so they tackled, for all intents and purposes, PM. And they tackled, from a government standpoint, unions. And idea that unions are governed themselves, that authority exists within them, they have the power, the authority to be able to wield these concepts and pull and tug as they please with their unionship, their membership, to be able to cost the government of the Bahamas all to their needs. The government decided to tackle that. Okay? I thought that was quite simultaneously commendable because it takes courage to be able to with some of these proverbial giants. Now, the giants is that the unions, the Grand Port Authority, have existed for such a long time. They are the proverbial old giants in this particular space. They've grown into a mammoth portion. Mammoth capacity. And it's almost like you can't challenge, you can't deal with it. This is just what it is. And as a result of that, as a result of these two things, this is where it is. So this administration, the PLP is taking on climate change global. It's global. It's taken from regional. It's taken on as our prime minister, so I think about 2 years, being able to sit in the capacity chairperson, I'm not sure exactly, right? And took on being able to identify ills and woes associated with hate. Especially after the president was assassinated in the way that he was. He identified woes and actually able to cause a coalition of nations within the region to come together and find a hate solution. Find a nation-led solution to Haiti's problems. This is what Governor Obama is taking. Isn't this crazy? Isn't this greatest? Right? So, from a standpoint, they identify the position of climate change, talking about those things. They're in a local standpoint, being able to obtain and assert their authority and being able to wrestle back the idea of fragmented authority, fragmented power through the Bahamas. And so they call the Grand Bahama Authority and they call the Union. Yeah. And they're going to be able to take the Union. And they're going to be able to sound. And so we haven't seen the implications of those type of things. I think this institution all knows that kind of an affection that exists between the Bahama and its political organization that they supported over the years. This organization understands that the people understands that the Bahamas is no friend. There's no friend they have. There's no significant political allegiance that they will find in this particular area. The allegiance they will find in this area. And so the lack of allegiance that they find in this particular area, they will fit in. It's easy for them to be able to kind of spin ourselves off. But this administration, I feel like has looked at areas that has traditionally been FNN areas and essentially make a difference if you made a significant impact in those areas because they're leading from a political standpoint. If you're looking for return, you're looking for opportunity, their allegiance is to the financial movement. But they went along at it. And they started to be able to build docks and do up things in a $1 million contract. I'm sure they think about buying. This is an amazing thing. This is an amazing thing. So we look at these things and make this particular determination. Let's be very clear about this now. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah. We're very, very clear. The people did not have to do. If we're talking about Benjamin, we're not talking about obligation, be careful, has the obligation, responsibility to define strength, all its people. However, former administrations didn't spend significant time, effort, energy to ensure these particular areas, these quadrants, these constituencies, these subsets of society that support the opposition, that support the national movement, has not been fully ventilated and taken care of the way they should. The administration did not do that. I'm not talking about the administration, which is a new administration. I'm talking about administration, because of the policy emphasis in the areas. They could not garner a significant return. There was no return on the investment. Even though this finances, this fund, this energy, this effort was for the people of the Bahamas, they understood something quite clear. I was doing this. And if they didn't get it, I think you just watch. This administration went into the political body, where there are those that hold them vehemently. And they saw the And so I believe that will pay off for them. Now we started this off, maybe we can finish it off. There's another thing there also that we'll be able to talk about. One we Government bizarre move driven by 20-year vesting wars. The cabinet yes, they said that the government has little choice. You see this? Let's be continue. The Minister of Obama take on a position and our position. Read it in the business. Read it just a bit. We got to hear a couple of but let's just talk about it because he'll piece the chance and taking an opportunity to look at some things that is I think from a political standpoint that shows political maturity. Because hey, if I don't do something for Grand Hama, I only get you to give me anyhow which is lacks black polls. You want me to support no how? I didn't necessarily lose anything with that. Let's be clear about it. Let's read it. Let's see exactly what's what. We can read a taste of it and then move on. Yesterday, the governor had a cabinet minister. Yes, they said the Bahamas has literature, which require reports in was by compulsory action because it would otherwise have to be 20 years of ownership to be fully vested. The Minister of Grand Bahama outside of the House Assembly, Davis administration decided to act despite having negotiated a $2.8 million purchase of the now derelict company with the majority of its 13 because the company that owns the bazaar had been stuck off the company's register. Yeah. The company that owns the bazaar as real estate had been struck off the company's register. The company that owns the bazaar in a claim they off the register. All right, let's go further. And so I pointed out, let's go again and also we can read a little taste of this. This is Grand Hama News and Debating. It's so worthy. I got to talk about this. Right? And so he pointed out that Reform of the Companies Act Section 73 that we implemented in 2019, any property or any property or assets belonging to companies must be held on trust by the trustee for 20 years to see if they are claimed by their owner or owner/shareholder. Only after a period expired do such assets vest in the trust on behalf of being people so to avoid falling foul for legal implement. The government has invoked the compulsory acquisition powers, democracy promising that the 13 owners will still get the compensation and purchase price already negotiated. That's what she said. It's the government, though it was necessary, thought it was necessary to do the compulsory acquisition, though we are still paying because they are the taxes of reform that has been implemented in 2019, and the property will not be fully vested in the unless we went through the process. So yes, we have been negotiating the majority of the agreement, and we are going to be paying them the appraised value, which is $2 million for the bazaar. I can $2.8 million. 4 acres, 5 acres, in the middle of the day. Now, I don't think it will include the Princess Team and the Princess Club. That's the money. That's good. Not at all. So let's talk about things. They get that which was $20 million. And there was the issue, which is the Grand Bahama Port Authority had indicated the belongers had owned some maintenance fee, had owed something to fee. And that was renegotiated as well. Easy negotiations. I think we just have a sort of an idea that negotiation is going to be difficult. It's a negotiation. Hey, I want this back on it. You know, it's just exactly. If you expect me to pay 5 cents, we had a tree. I'm going to spend 5. No, you said be 2.5. And it's not negotiation. No, I didn't do 5. Can I do something better than 2.5? What would you do? I'll give you 7. But it's just negotiation. Different language, different posture, different facial, different all the things. 7. We try to get to 5. We try to get to 5. They start at 5. They're going 5 over expectation. I mean, plus, how decided and how many them. And then they say, 5.1. Let's do 4. And how we do 5.1? I said 4.9. 4.95. Oh, let's do 5. Negotiations. So they came to this big conclusion, $2.8 million. They indicated that, hey, listen, they hadn't made maintenance in this area. The whole bazaar as a making the horrible conditions, horrible conditions bazaars. And so they negotiated and they paid the maintenance. They did all this by 9. That in their position. And so moving full steam ahead with it. The only so is just process of ensuring that all of the I's and the T's are crossed. And the government will fully own the bazaar once it's done. This is that the property's owners of land, like today's publication, of the full page that detail of use powers under the Acquisition of the Land Act compel the sale. Because the 11.54 acre, 11 acres? Oh my God, they together. The country of ban. She did the whole thing for 11.5 and left 5 for 2.8 million. That's good money. Woo! You don't see the value that I know what to do. Instead of saying like that, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's stuff, man. I was saying like 7.5 acre site. It's new for the African Caribbean kids. I don't know if I agree with this. African Caribbean this thing. I don't know if I agree with this. I don't agree with this. I don't know if I agree with this. I don't necessarily with the African Caribbean concept. I hear June particular capacity relations that she's for, but I don't know if she's the demographic people that travel Grand Bahama. If the demographic of Grand Bahama, they're middle or class. This kind of concept seems to be sort of middle to working class capacity. Grand Bahama people upper class person also. And though they're building that idea that they can appeal to masses in the particular area, I just don't. And it just makes me myself and sort of conditioning these people put me under. But I don't necessarily know the African Caribbean. I didn't know Africans. I didn't know Caribbean. I got this size because I was drinking this, and I know I can get daughter. I'm not sure. That's like mine. Maybe it's conscious condition. Maybe it's what it is, and maybe it's sort of the level before this thing. I'm the land. So she has the instruction from much touted African carrying markets in response. This market actually spoke in dealing with the issue, and that people often who had informed her that the majority of them would have been contacted by the government access plan, and but maybe not at all. But maybe not, sorry, not all 13, right? Maybe not all. So she says it's not the government, it's not the government, it's me. This is the mission. We're not continuing with the agreement that's made. It's just to clean up the issue with the Companies Act, where the company has been struck off the because we were struck off. The government would have had to wait 20 years since the time it closed the deal in order to properly fully vested in it. So it's like 20 years. I guess if you're able to succeed that process and transpose your position and stand in this position of the acquisition, using power, maybe do that. But you're saying that by the fact that you use those powers, despite the fact you've been able to acquire compulsory acquisition powers, right? Even with your compulsory acquisition powers, you're still paying $2.8 million that you negotiated. Actually, what you're saying, the only reason you got a pushback is because your secretary was able to refill and deal with 13 members. She was unable to reach all 13 as a result of not being able to reach all team members. This is what the aim is. That's what you're saying to me. That as a result of this agreement, okay, that's a good idea. She said it's not the government isn't paying. We still continue the agreement that we made. It's yet to clean these particular company with property being registered, but they will struck off the government for years before getting tried because reveal. I transmitted into the proposed Afro-Caribbean marketplace. It is so, this is Fox said, Mr. Marks indicated. It's been about 15 years with the bizarre it is thing. 20 years. I tell you this, from Hurricane Francis and G, I'm going down. It's worse than the I'm going down, boom, boom, boom. They keep going down. Every year, successively, the promises, the commitments, the focus, the efforts that government have made has declined. Significant decline. I mean, I'm sorry, the hurricane, there has a decline. Every Grand needs. Grand Bahama needs to be rededicated. The Christian need to create colony use lines, but I have to give sense of Grand Bahama has the voice of identity. Let me think this is me. You use magic, hairspray time, and creating your housing, and not at all. You just can't like understand why you have to be some shoes by problem. Somebody have breast cancer and all these things. You don't understand these things because you want to do this. It's just experience. Everything that you make, you like all the places is war. I don't know how many of you land. And there needs to be dedication from the top of a new Christian land. This kind of idea of magic has to be eradicated and needs to be miracles from the land. Or you change the name. Anytime you want to do something, you just change the name. Anytime you want to change the name, I'm talking about changing the declaration and no longer identifies the magic. This is miracle lab that the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister make a dedication. Which Prime Minister the cloud with spreading Grand Bahama. They said, I don't find the Grand Bahama those situations over. You change the name and everything else will change. Stop calling it the city. I'm sure that stop calling it the magic city. Stop calling it Magic City. You know magic exception. Stop calling it Magic City. There's no baby people in Bahama. Everything has to be worked for. All life has worked. No magic not happening there. It's only happening there. There's understanding work there. There's there. Other protein work there. Grand mains work there. To work. It's like there's education that exists place to be able to identify different industries and spaces. Activity that work happening. Stop calling it Magic City. Stop calling it the Magic City. No magic there. This is Johnson. And we'll be clear. Let's be clear. Stop calling it the Magic. These were probably reasons, but they recommend Ginger. This talk here for what you would have done 5 years, and if you're looking at yours, I know that a lot of friends are fit with you, and how I give my body radio all over the internet about your presentation, what you did or you didn't, what body radio got so. But even though they have pushed for this kind of mess, I think this articulation, and being able to move the compulsory action on powers that you have, and you're still being committed to transferring of these 13 persons, those owners, investment owners of the bazaar, they commend. Now, I started off in a way of understanding. I started off to understand that the PNP understands that they're not going to get rid of investment on Grand Bahama. Okay. Hey, listen to me. You looking at me? You know me? Look at me. You're not getting a return on investment for Grand Bahama. The company is not going to get a return on investment for Grand Bahama. They know that. You're not going to get a political return on investment for giving to Grand Bahama. For the efforts that you take to put the Grand Bahama before you need to acquire the power that belongs to you. No share it in the context that is outside the government is anything. However, will not get a return on investment for the F. You will probably issues that. You're not going to get a return on investment for the acquisition. Either you're looking at this sort of have to do with the compulsory acquisition you have to acquire this ISO existing in the Grand Bahama transition. That takes choice from one phase to another. Nothing to go to a gear contact that exists in the consider that you want to so limbo state and show this and simultaneously take the three investors. This is endable. You will not ROI. You will not get a return on investment for the efforts that you're making to rectify these issues. But if it's a sea-ball, but if it's a thousand, all these things and are extremely necessary. However, Grand Bahama has a vested interest. Let's you can change that. And let's be able to go impact the lives of the person. There is possibly based on something ahead. Possibly 2 6 5 for you in Grand Bahama. But that does not mean that just only decent. It doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't mean you should give up. It doesn't mean that you have been able to reject the idea of doing what's necessary for building the right side of Scripture. There is allegiance. I have full-hearted allegiance to national movement. I don't know why. You know why? I don't know why. But just what it is. We find it. We get time and there is allegiance that must understand that is paid to do. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay? Do not keep requiring your constituency being come up with the victory. Okay? This all depends on, I don't know why, but the conversations out there. I'm not interested in smart party full find yourself with full these big problems for you. Major problems for you. Now, as soon as this can happen, either he loses or he pushes victory. You gotta make sure you get in. Did you do that? Did you? Gotta do that. Okay? You gotta make it to the conversation. I also love talking about I also talking about being a president in this place. I always enjoy having this conversation with you guys out there. And dive deeper into it tonight. There's no doubt. Well, down to the tomorrow night you'll be able to see us on the Road. See you last day conversation with God and that conversation. Leslie, conversation with him. Conversation with me on live, right on this, and as you join with us, because I really am. As we get deeper with the creativity, meet and the so we can do everything and all these. I think it's a great opportunity to test this. So we want you to stay. We want you to get to us. Actually, move forward. It's a gorgeous day. I want it to be done in the Lord. Honor, power, and praise. Because we have to be every day. Our Father could voice on the to be sin. The board, the devil, that I could take it out. That don't have to God had good rules. Who we need somebody in our time and strength. We demonstrate how we're going to manage man. When man affairs, pain in man. We're sure that salvation is taken care of. All the presence in leadership. How you understand what will happen going forward. We are here. We can in Jesus. Amen. We let it baby be a jet. Go. Me. We want it. We love the hurt blood. We lazy, we're cussing, we're frustrated, we're angry, we're made, we're spirit. Not that all is good in life. There's nothing that is called in you. I'm just 400 people. 450 people out there. I don't even know what cause us to pinch time, angel. But what we was here for a reason. We was on here for a reason. Always because I don't say you're dead. I'm fighting it. We don't know. Howard, slice me a good day. Let's go. All I got to do today, I can't on with me. Yeah, but we go. We're not fighting. This is our time. This is our season. This is our day. Those are all over us. Despite your tribulation, despite what's around you, despite whispers of this earth, there is calling your life. It's time and the season of life. So let's make you work for the next generation. It's time before he has done. We're done. I'm going to come in. You're going to be able to be box of sides. The purpose that we have. I want to guys bring in the this is the foundation. You guys can see again tomorrow. We're like on a Friday. Beautiful day. We see you again next time. Have a great day, guys.